So let's move on to the next question, guys. In this question, we are given that there is a triangle ABC, right? And the length AB is given to be 5, the length AC is given to be 13, the area is given to be 30, and we have to compare the side BC and 12, right? So let's draw this case, right? So let's draw a triangle ABC. So this is a triangle. I'll just draw it a little bigger. So this is a triangle ABC, right? We are given AB to be 5. This is 5, right? We are given AC as 13. This is 13, right? Okay. And the area is given to be 30, right? And the area is given to be 30. And we have to find the length BC, right? So now tell me one thing. For example, we can see over here that this is 169, right? 13 square is how much? 169. What is 5 square? 5 square is how much? 25. So if you kind of subtract these, this comes out to be how much? 144, which is 12 square, right? So anybody would say that this side will be 12. So anybody would say that this side will be 12, right? Because if you do 144 plus 25, it will give you 169. That means 5 square plus 12 square is equals to 13 square, right? That means this angle will be 90, right? 5 square plus 12 square is equals to 13 square. That means this becomes the hypotenuse, this becomes 90 degree, and this becomes a triangle, right? So if this is the case, what will be the area? The area is half into base into height, right? So what is the base and the height? The base and the height are 5 and 12. So half into 5 into 12. I hope this makes sense. So this becomes how much? 30, right? So we were given in the question that the area is 30. So the area is coming out to be 30. So what is the side BC? The side BC becomes how much? 12, right? The side BC becomes 12. So any person answering the question probably would answer C. But this is where everybody or most of the people go wrong, right? So this is only half the part of the question. So what we did was that, because what happens, people see 5 and 13, they see, okay, the third side can be 12. If the third side is 12, what will be the area be? The area will be half into base into height, which is 30. And we are given that the area is 30. So very nice, it's satisfying. So that is why BC will be equal to 12 and the answer is C, right? And this is where most people go wrong. I mean, this is completely fine, but this is only half the case, right? Now tell me one thing, there is one more case. For example, if this is the triangle, right? Let's say this is 13, right? And this is 5. This is 5, right? So this is 13 and this is 5. So if we drop a perpendicular from here, this is 90, right? So if we drop a perpendicular from here, tell me one thing, what is the area of this triangle? The area of this triangle is half into base into height, right? So what is the base? The base is 13. Let's say the height is h, and that is how much? 30, right? The area is given to be 30. So h becomes how much? 60 upon 13, right? So this will be somewhere around 4 point something, right? This height will be somewhere around 4 point something, which I don't really care about, right? But one thing is for sure, that this h is completely valid, because the hypotenuse, if you see in this small triangle, the hypotenuse is 5, right? And this side is 4 point something, which means it is less than hypotenuse. So this is completely fine. Okay, so now tell me one thing. We have this triangle in which this side is 13, this side is 5, right? And the area of this triangle is equals to 30. Why? Because half into base and let's assume the height is 4.8, 4.7, whatever, which due to which the area becomes 30. Now tell me one thing, and I will just label it. So this becomes A, this becomes B, this becomes C, right? So AB is 5, AB is 5, AC is 13, AC is 13, right? So we have to find the length of BC. Now tell me one thing, what do you think will be the length of BC over here? Since if you see in this bigger triangle, right, because BC is the hypotenuse, right, and this side is already 13, let's assume this will be something more, which means this entire side is greater than 13, right? From here to here, if this is 13, obviously this side, this part will be greater than 13, right? So if this is greater than 13, obviously the hypotenuse will be even bigger, right? Which means it will definitely be greater than 12. I mean, BC can be 13.5, 14, 15, 16, whatever. But one thing is for sure, that if this is 13, this entire thing, for example, this point is D, let's suppose. So if AC is 13, so DC will be even greater than 13, right? And if DC is greater than 13, right? Because BC is the hypotenuse, so BC will definitely be greater than DC, right? So that means BC will be greater than 13. And if BC is greater than 13, so obviously BC will be greater than 12. I hope this makes complete sense, right? So that means the BC can be greater than 12 also. So we saw in this case that BC is equals to 12. And in this case, BC is greater than 12. So sometimes the answer is C, sometimes the answer is B. So that is why your final answer becomes D. Because sometimes it is equal to 12, sometimes it is greater than 12. So we cannot say anything for sure. That is why the answer becomes D. So the point over here is that most people do this part and they write C and come. But that is not true, because that is only half the question solved. You have to think of more ways, right? You have to think logically of how else you can solve this, and then you will come up with this. I hope this should be absolutely clear.